Hello Fly Nation and welcome to the Freestyle Your Life podcast, the one and only podcast inspiring you to live your authentic greatness while teaching you that less is more. I'm your host, Erneste Kalle-Zimmermann, and I'm on my mission to help you to be the hero you were meant to be and to live what you came for in life and in business. Remember, the quest we came here for is to discover our true nature, explore our potential and share it by living. Hello Fly Nation. We solopreneurs need to get visible with the great work we provide. But performance on social media can be very overwhelming. In today's interview, episode number 19, we learn the latest tips on how to leverage our visibility on social media from social media strategist Michael Guberti. Let's get Michael on to share the shortcuts of the most useful settings we can make on our social media platforms. Let's jump right into it. Hello again. So lovely to see you, Michael. How are you?
I'm good. How have you been since we last spoke?
Well, I have been so busy. I swear, I'm swamped here, and I'm booked out till beginning of September.
Whoa.
So this totally got me on this, but it's a luxury problem, so I will not complain at all.
Right.
But and then I just catch the cold, and that's why we had to find a new date. I'm still sorry for that, but I didn't have no voice, and for interview is just not manageable. But happy to have you on today. So, dear listeners, this is Michael Guberti, and I know him personally. We've just met in Tampa in Florida at a nice event we've been together, and he's a social media expert and strategist and founder of his own company. And well, I'm curious about to learn new things because if it's for you, it's your topic, right? But my topic is, of course, completely different, like how to become authentic, whatever. It's a whole other topic and field. And so I'm curious to learn the best strategies and how to come out of these overwhelming things. I'm not the tech girl, so I'm just glad if I can manage with 3 cameras here and all the screens and where to look and whatever. But, you're the expert on that, and you will tell us what to focus on is the most important, right?
Correct. Happy to do so and happy to be on your show. Thank you for having me.
So lovely. I always love to see you guys.
Thank you. So relative to different systems and strategies as to how you can get your word out to other people, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have or go into an overview on that.
Yeah, just go on an overview maybe, because my questions might not be the listener's questions. So what I rather do is just make an overview of the topic. So just be inspiring and motivating to work on it. And it's your stage, Michael. Happy to have you on.
Well, happy to be here, and relative to spreading a message, but also doing it with authenticity, I'd say the first strategy is to use the platforms that you have. So if we're talking about things you've put time into, maybe it's your Facebook, Instagram, email marketing, subscribers, live video, if you're comfortable doing that. Obviously, in this medium, we're comfortable on video. And
sorry to interrupt you. We have a noise in the back there. Toot, 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 it says.
Some little like flashing face.
Yes.
Is this any better?
There is still a noise in the back, and it's not with me, because I always tend to put everything off, like Facebook or emails. If something coming in, they make a noise. So that's why I always try to get rid of all that while being on an interview.
Understood. And I can tell you, at least it's not coming from within this room, but...
Okay. So now then it's authentic. We cannot help it.
At the immediate present, the only thing I can do is try to put these in.
Yeah, maybe that better.
And while I do that, okay, so we could point out that if you're doing video, because we were just discussing that, live video might be one option of interest.
Yeah, but the noise is still there.
Even with this plugged in?
Yes.
Okay, then I got one other approach, and it will be, if the place isn't working, I'll go to one other place.
It's like toot in the back somewhere.
I wonder if that must be happening outside the building. All right, well.
Okay, then we cannot have it.
I got one other potential solution, and I'll talk as I move. So I'm going to move and talk at the same time.
Okay, that's great.
First of all, live video, if we could start with that, because there are many types of video.
Yes.
So live video is a lot like what I'm doing at the immediate present. It's real, raw, unscripted, but it can be useful in getting people to engage with your information. So specifically, if you have an office, potentially like this, where you have client meetings as an example, then you can show people your office where they'll go if they meet you in person, and maybe give them a walkthrough of all the different rooms you have.
That's a great idea, yes.
And do it just on the fly, typically. And in the process, you could show them, if they work with you, all the different places they'll go to see what rooms you have available.
Wonderful.
So that's exactly what I'm doing, because I'm going to show you a whiteboard that is right behind me that sometimes my clients and I script out ideas on. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So
that's so interesting. You just mentioned that sort of video, because I'm just about to do one, and I learned it from JLD, which is a colleague of us, John Lee Dumas, for the listeners who don't know his shortcut name, and I learned a lot from him. And he just moved to a new house in Costa Rica. So he did a video and showing it's such an incredible, lovely place, doing this live video and walking through the whole house and garden and jacuzzi and pool and the beach. Wow, fantastic location there. And he sent this to me and said, "Watch my new house," and I was nearly freaking out, and I thought, that's such a wonderful idea. Well, I felt like I would have been there, right?
No, I understand completely. There's a big appeal on showing where you are.
Yeah, I will definitely do it. Go ahead, please. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I think that's just great to have real connection.
And to your point on connection and also using video, you could do it live. You could do it recorded if you're more comfortable one way or the other. And if some people, for those who are a little more camera shy, maybe they're listening to this and they're like, I really don't want to be on camera. Then just show the place. You don't even have to be in the video. You just hold the phone and you walk around.
Right. Yes. Would be another possibility. Yeah. Right.
Or let's say you have a staff member who's particularly charismatic. You can do it that way, where they could be the star of the show and you're just holding it.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the piece on video, live video. It's different mediums and where to put it. A lot of people, YouTube, first place to go with it, and it makes sense. You could do Facebook, Instagram, TV is increasingly popular. A post on Instagram, which is 1 minute long, could also be in the feed, useful to do. There are plenty of options to repurpose it, fortunately.
Yeah. Wonderful. But Instagram, I have my Facebook account, and I don't have private people on it. I mostly have sort of my own mentors and also colleagues and podcast colleagues. So I don't have that's particular my audience there, because I don't want to have too much private people and too much network, because then they spam the whole other coaches, right? And then they get they get spammed with that too. So I really watch my audience in Facebook, and I just started for my company here with Instagram. I wasn't in it too much, and but it's sort of completely different. And I'm just starting out and shoot some videos, and I'll get into it, but it's a whole other level.
You know what? Understood. It's great that you started on that platform, and some strategies for you if you wanted to implement or had the time to do so. Stories are very useful.
Yes.
If you could put those out semi-regularly, I mean, for example, there's something called the 60-second story strategy. It's designed to be very quick.
Uh-huh. Okay.
If you take a post that you've put out on Instagram, so you like the caption, you like the image already, and then you click on it, that'd be the first step.
Okay, I take my own post, click on it, I just write it down, otherwise I cannot remember it later.
Diligent notes, fair enough. After you click on the post, on the lower left-hand corner, there'll be an ability for you to like it, comment on it. You don't want to do either one of those, but you want to press the last one, which looks like a paper plane icon.
Yeah.
And if you press on that, you can add that post to your story. So since you already liked it enough to post it, now you're just putting it as your story where people can see it. Maybe they didn't see it the first time you posted it, but they'll see it there.
Okay, but I should like it or I shouldn't like it? I should like it.
Don't like it. It's just by the like button. It's near it.
Okay. Paper plane. I guess. Okay. On the right side.
Yes. Of those buttons.
Yes. Okay.
So paper plane on the right side of those buttons, you press it, you send it to your story, and now you've taken out two parts of the platform with one effort. You posted, which is great, and then you made a story based on the post. So that's one idea.
Okay.
Second piece would be if you want to receive engagement on Instagram, it's a great idea to give engagement to other people.
Yes.
So if you want likes, you can go around liking the images of accounts that you follow. And better yet, if you think about some big accounts that maybe you want to grow your account to be that size, like if you could think of some of those,
yes,
then you go to the people who are following those accounts and you like their pictures so they can potentially be notified about you.
Okay, so I go, for example, to Adam Lewis, which is a colleague of ours. I follow him.
Yes.
So what do? I like him. Of course, I like him, and I like him on Instagram. And then what do I do? Because I'm so fascinated. He's doing the Red Bull Championship there. And for our listeners here, it's a lovely colleague from us.
Yes, I think of.
I'm still not a native speaker, so sometimes I struggle with the prepositions. So, he has a really great adventurous thing, and he's riding the bike, and it's uphill, downhill, is whatever. It's incredible. So, he asked for support, and of course I said, no question about that, Adam. Of course, I'm at your side. So I added him, and I liked it, and so what else do I do?
Well, you are doing those good things for him because you're sending positive signals and attention to his account. So that makes perfect sense.
Okay.
And what you want to do is look at the people who are following him and start liking their posts.
Okay.
If
Didn't
you
know
like
that. Mm-hmm.
If you like their posts, you know how you're in Instagram, when you're on Instagram, you see that little red notification that looks like a heart that means somebody liked your post. Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
That means if you like somebody's post, they're going to get that. And they may, if you do it to enough people, decide to look at your account and follow you.
Okay. I did that, but unconsciously, because I didn't know really how it works, and I played, just tried some things, and I did exactly that, but not knowing what I'm doing, and then I got a whole bunch of people what said he's following and she's following, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, that was funny because I didn't know where all that comes from heaven. A gift from heaven. So I did a good job.
I would say that you did. You've got you're liking his posts, you're liking other people who follow him. And if you could incorporate that story strategy so that it's a real quick, easy to do tactic and do live video, like showing off a walkthrough of your office, or if let's say you have a new course or membership program that you're launching.
Mm-hmm.
You could bring it up on a computer screen and have a live video on Instagram or Facebook showing the computer screen, and you could talk in the background. You don't even have to be in the video.
Okay. I put it on Camtasia?
Yes.
Okay.
And you could just say...
And then I take it to Instagram?
You can do that. You can do Camtasia to record your screen and then take it to Instagram, or just so you have options, you could bring it up on a computer and then hold your phone, go into Instagram Live, and live stream your computer screen that's showing your online course or your membership.
Mm-hmm. So go to Instagram Live and then...
point the camera at your computer screen, which is showing your online course or your membership, and you can talk about how excited you are to launch it and why you might be interested.
With the mobile?
That's correct.
Okay, then with mobile. I have another question. Just hang on a second, please. With the mobile on the screen. I have made a post on Facebook, and but it was a video I got from somebody in my audience, right? It was a video with a rainbow. It was just unbelievable, fantastic. So I wanted to so I have it on my Facebook, and I shared it and to my fan page, and then I wanted to get this video from my Facebook fan page to my Instagram account. Okay. But I couldn't handle.
Okay.
And I asked Mama Google, and she had no idea.
Okay. Well, first of all, you did the right things. You're searching for various different things. And then the second piece would be so you're looking at the video on Facebook, if we think about that.
Yes, and I got the link, but I found nowhere where to put the link on Instagram.
Right. Or how to get the video out of the link.
Yes, maybe.
Okay. So what you want to do is go to a website called savefrom.net. Savefrom.net.
Okay.
Put the link that you have from Facebook with the video into that.
Okay.
And it can help you to download the video onto your computer so that you can then do whatever you want with it. You could airdrop it to your phone or bring it to YouTube.
Okay, download video on computer. Because that was not possible with the settings, and it was somebody from Brazil who first came up with this video. So I even made the effort and looked it up where I did find it and shared it. But I also asked the person, where did you get it from? And it was somebody from Brazil. So I reached out there, but well, I'm not speaking Portuguese, so I tried on English. And she didn't know what to do. So that was the end of the street. I went there. So that's, but I'm really keen on having it and getting it to my Instagram. So, but I didn't have no more idea. So you are the expert, and thanks for giving me SafeFrom.net. Never heard of that.
Well, I can tell you did the right things, because you went to the person, you said, who owns the video, whose is it? And I'll tell you, there's one other tool you might find useful. You have SafeFrom.net, but I do want to let you know about something called Down Album, all one word.
Down Album.
Yes, and that is DOWNALBUM.
Yes, got it.
And it's a Chrome extension that you can put on your browser that allows you to download a lot of different images or videos from Instagram or Facebook. Now, of course, you only want to download, the ones that you have access to use, that you have the rights to use.
Of course.
But it is a very useful tool to do that. So I wanted you to, be aware of it.
From Facebook and from Instagram.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
So now, based on what we've covered, we've talked about video, live video, stories, downloading, reposting, giving people credit. And I'd say from here, another platform that is useful and related to social media is your email subscribers very often.
Yes.
So it's a good idea to communicate with them regularly. A lot of people say, I don't want to annoy them because then they'll unsubscribe.
Yeah.
And that's why they usually send things only about once a month, because they say, well, if I send it once a month, it won't be too much and they'll stay with me.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I would say you can increase that to at least once a week for those people, on the basis that if they really want to hear from you, then they'll stay. And if they don't want to hear from you once a week, then you probably don't want to be communicating with them either. So let them unsubscribe if they don't want to hear.
Right. Because that's good. You mentioned that, Michael, because that would have been one of my questions. How often should I write onto my email list to stay in contact enough, but not to annoy them, right? The measurement is, I was sort of guessing what the best would be. So I truly think once a month is you get forgotten, right?
I would say I completely agree with you on that.
And I have some people, they do it nearly every day or every second day, and plenty of the German online marketers do that. They have it from America, surely, but they really pushing and pushing and pushing. And I took myself out of all newsletters there with the German online marketers, because it's just it's just not possible, right? They spam my whole account there.
Oh,
and that's So I'm out because that was just too much. But if I was interested in that person and in the topic, of course, with once a week, I would be totally okay. So I think that's great. once a week. I just wrote it down.
Well, I'll tell you, you got the right strategy there. And I can tell you that I understand that it might be a little too much if you get something from somebody every single day, but once a week is a good frequency very often.
Yeah. Okay. Because I just wondered if I opt out because it's getting just too much for me, and I hardly can't cope with all my emails there. And so other people are occupied also, and then they opt out of my list if I penetrate too much, right? That wouldn't be my goal, of course, but it's a sort of, you have to be seen and present, but not annoying the people. Yeah, I love it.
Well, thank you. And I'm happy that you're going to implement it. And so we've talked about now email subscribers, Facebook and Instagram. And, I would say, because here's how they connect. Facebook and Instagram can help you get more email subscribers, as you might be aware. And the way to do that very often is through advertising on Facebook and Instagram. Have you heard about advertising on Facebook?
Yes. I once did it myself. I had a report on that I have been written. It was specialized on the topic of burnout. Oh. And I had some tips there. I did it was my first and until now last advertise. I just wanted to test how all that works. And so I said to myself, what can I take? And I just took this report. I have been writing for an online magazine and thought, why not? So I was doing the Facebook ad on that report, and it was great.
No, I understand. On the targeting, you can reach very specific people. You can know what they're interested in, where they are, and your report. So, okay, burnout. Probably want to reach entrepreneurs, executives, business owners.
Only. Anyway, I have executives and entrepreneurs, and this report I was asked to write it for a special niche, which was agencies, because plenty of the vacation agencies in our towns here, they just have to close because people book online in the internet. Right. So they are sitting there, they have to keep their office and everything, and it's just not affordable. And so more and more of these species in this particular niche, they close. And that's why I was asked to write a report, especially on them. And if there's not enough bookings and customers, there's likely a close nearby, right? And so the problem was related to, they don't have no customers anymore, and they worried if they need to close the whole office. That was the topic of the burnout and of being stressed, of course, if you have to close your office, right? That was the relation there. And I got plenty of people who then, because of my Facebook ad, saw that report, otherwise wouldn't, and responded, and I want to have it, and I want to have it. Yeah, that's good how it worked. That was quite a good thing. And now I just made up my mind I will do a Facebook ad. Well, I'm still totally beginner here, so I'm so glad I can talk to an expert I know just heart by heart and personally. I thought of creating a Facebook ad for the podcast, which is launching now, and just to get some launch partners.
Understood.
And to announce it.
To your community, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, then let's talk about what you might consider doing for a podcast with Facebook ads. So you're going to want to either send people directly to the podcast page on iTunes. A lot of people may say, oh, just send traffic to the podcast page directly. But I would say instead, try to get their contact information first from them. And you could send them to a landing page that says, we're going to be launching this podcast. And stay tuned for updates about the upcoming launch by entering your name and email in this form, and maybe even incentivize them to do so. If they sign up for the list, then maybe they can either book a call with you, or they could get a free download that comes with their subscription. So, in the same way you put together that burnout report, maybe you put together a report of something you also know that they'll be interested in, that you can then pair with the podcast launch updates that you can send them.
Right. That would be for new subscribers, right?
Yes.
That would be one part of it. And the other part I was thinking of was for people to become a launch partner, right? And I would give them, I have created a Facebook group for that, so they get all the materials and email templates and graphics and whatever they need there. I have a Facebook group for that. So my technical assistant, Louis, he will be the headmaster over there. And so I wanted to give them for participation and for spreading the message with a gift card, and they get a solo mail to my list. And I have great things for them to reward them for participation, right? And I have a whole other level, which are some of the icons and some of my mentors, long-term coaches, right, with a big list.
Right.
So we've created an ad banner for them. So you are in this big list, big launch partner list also. So you got it already, right? So because we said if I will give the bigger parties with a gift card or whatever small thing, it will not be the kick for them, right? So I said, okay, what can I do? What will be really attractive to them? Let's say just you and your company there, right? So we came up with the idea of gifting them with the ad banner.
Oh.
So for example, your company, right, will get an ad banner in between the episodes.
Okay.
For lifelong and for free, just for participation. So of course, the new episodes are always on top, but you will always be in there, right? So this is what we came up and said that's really great because you always stay there.
Correct. No, and I would say that since it's perpetual, like it'll stay there for a very long time. There's a lot of value to that. You'll always have your brand there.
Yes. That's why I thought that would be great. And so the feedback and there are many of my mentors in this field are in that group, right? Or like you, we know each other, or my mentors, of course, I know them for plenty of years. And they love it.
Well, I can tell you that there is appeal on that, especially if you have your logo, or even if they could put their website in, or maybe it's just their logo and that's good enough.
No, they can, Michael, they can put in everything, whatever they want. It has to be, I have to look it up, 500 pixels so that it fits between the episodes. And they just send it in. They can put whatever, their logo, their whatever they want to put.
Well,
anything.
That first of all, that's good that there is freedom to put multiple things, and 500 by 500 pixels or similar size, a tool called Canva could be useful to create those type of images for any of your participants.
Yeah, but these are really the big ones, and they have, of course, they have ad banners for their own advertisement, right? So I just reserve the place.
Okay.
Let's take you, for example, to make it clear to the listeners. So this is a wonderful thing for you, really, to reward you for your work and for spreading the information there. And you return it in the size that we can fit in there in the podcast. Whatever you want to do, should be relating context, right? But other coaches I don't have, so anyway, that is relating context, which is for the listeners also practical and interesting, and shouldn't be just focused on the advertising, but also to my listeners, I will give them something of worth if they struggle with social media like I do, or new to that or whatever. So if there is an advertisement of you and your company, that's of course helpful for them, right? So I will not put other things that are not related, but every interview partner, for example, on my podcast does get this chance. Yes. Either in the Facebook group or the smaller small offices, they don't have those things. They get the other prices, which is sort of more private people, but all the enterprises like you have, they all can choose the ad banner, and they just put on it whatever they want, you know. I'm not good in the creation, and I don't have the material. That's why I just say, Michael, you got it. You got your lifelong banner. Just return it to our office, and we, me not, but Louis will just put it in between. So we made a list, and so we even let you choose when you want to be in between, right?
Right. And you centralize all that activity into a Facebook group, which is a good medium to use, especially when there's a lot of conversation going on about this topic.
Yeah, that would be the next question. I have the smaller solopreneurs, I will call it. I have the Facebook group for them. And I have a special website just for the big players as you who get the banner, right? So we display it on the website, and everything you need and whatever information, email templates and banners from us, from the launch, from the podcast, everything is on there. So just you can go and download.
Right. Okay, so you have almost a private membership area.
Yes, great. For the big players.
Hey, well, that's an advanced view, and I give you credit on building that, because that that takes time to do.
Yeah, Louis has to. I'm not into that, but he's student from informatics. What is it? It's not informatics. It's he's studying all these things, right? And he's brilliant at it. So I always it's just my personality. I always want everybody to win. So whenever I have a guest on the podcast, I want the listeners to get motivated, inspired, and really practicable advice and tips. And whatever podcast topic they have to, because I'm dealing with mostly entrepreneurs here. So what we are just talking about is highly interesting to them, right? Maybe it wouldn't be for an employee, because he doesn't have to create ads. He's just working on the job he's working, right?
Right.
So I always watch how the topic is related and can be helpful for my listeners there, and to help you to speak to a whole new audience, and and for me to have good guests, right? So I really I don't accept everybody. Let's put it that way. Yeah, because that wouldn't fit in helping you and winning the listeners and me also. So I choose wisely.
Well, I can agree with you on that. You create not only win-win situations, but win-win-win situations for you yourself.
That's my goal.
Win-win-win. Okay. Well, I'll tell you, Facebook group, we've covered that. We've got email subscribers, Facebook, Instagram, ads also. I'd say on the ad side of things, because we were recently mentioning that piece, you want to test different ones, not just one. You want multiple ads at the same time.
Okay, and how many do I run? Because I always heard 2, one and against the other.
Right. Well, if it was me, I'd do 6. I like the number.
That much?
And I'm sorry if it sounds like a lot of work, because it takes a lot of time, but I like the number 6 because you can do it.
Just was reminded on the golf course, the hole 6 is my favorite.
Oh.
Just joking. Just the 6, the number 6. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. But anyway, it sounds like a lot of work. Yeah.
And very often it's worth it because you can get, if you think about, well, what are those 6 ads going to be? You could have a picture, first of all.
A picture.
Then you could have 2 videos.
Okay. This will be the next ad?
Yes.
First is one picture. Second is 2 videos.
2, right. And then it's a carousel. A carousel, which is just a bunch of pictures or videos strung together.
Okay.
And then you have they call it an instant experience. An instant experience.
Uh-huh.
And then the last would be an instant experience plus what they call a collection. So an instant experience plus a collection. And just so you know why I picked those 6. One, I do 2 videos because usually video does very well. So I'm saying that videos do well. I might as well have 2 of them. An image is also very good. So I have 1 image. An instant experience, those 2 are newer ads. So it's a good idea to test those newer ad formats. And then the last one is that carousel, which is a combination of everything.
Okay, but I missed something because I just have 5. So first I have picture. Second, I have 2 videos. Third, I have carousel of videos or pictures, which is just a line of them and they circle, right?
You're correct.
And 4th is instant experience. And 5th is instant experience plus collection.
That's right. And the 6th in there is that you mentioned 2 videos. So each one is their own ad. Each one.
Video 1. Okay. 2. Okay. And the collection would mean collection of what?
A collection of images and words together.
Okay. It's sort of abstract for me just now. Maybe I have to look at the example from you.
Yes. So, okay.
Not now, but for my case later. Okay.
Regarding an instant experience, if you try to visualize it, if you think about your phone, it's like a rectangle and it will just show up on the whole screen. It's like a whole screen advertisement.
Okay. Learning so much new here today. Okay. Got it.
So 6 advertisements in your campaign, and you want to show them to multiple people. So you also want to test different audiences.
Okay.
And, as a good starter, if you say, I want to test 2 audiences, could be your first attempt. And then you could grow to multiple audiences as you expand your experience.
Okay.
So I would say as a beginning strategy to put that all into a tactic, you could say I'm going to make one campaign with 2 audiences, and in each audience there's going to be 6 ads. So 6 times 2 means you have 12 ads at the same time.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And I'll tell you this though. If immediately that sounds like it's too much, it takes up a lot of resources, which it does take up a lot of time. I understand. Then say to yourself, okay, I'm going to let's think about what would be a modified approach to that. I'm going to do the 2 audiences, but each one is only going to have 2 ads.
Okay, 2 audiences, 2 ads. Okay.
And that can save you a considerable amount of time. The only trade-off is that, you won't be testing as many ads against each other. And the more testing you do, the better, usually.
Yes, but I could start doing that, and then I could find out which is the best, right?
Yes.
And which audience does fit? Or do I test the ads, right?
Well, because if you do 2 audiences and 2 ads in each audience, you can do both. You can see which audience is the best, and then in that group, which ad is the best. So you can take out 2 objectives with one effort.
Okay. And then I could pick the one which is the best?
Correct.
And then how long should I run the same ad which showed to be good?
That's a very good question. I would say that run it for as long as it keeps getting you leads at the cost per lead that it was producing. And I can give an example just as a reference.
Yes.
Let's say you do that. You have 2 audiences, 2 ads in each audience. One ad is getting you a lead for $4 and another ad is getting you a lead for $2.
Yes.
You would turn off the ad that's getting you a lead for $4 and put all of the budget into the ad that's getting you a lead for $2.
Yes.
And then I would say, look in your account every day to make sure that it's still getting you a lead for $2. You don't want it to start to increase because then you need to change it.
Yes. As soon as I realize it's not performing on that level anymore, right?
Then you would want to make new ads.
Yes.
To start them up and see what they can produce for you.
Right. But if I was starting out at the moment, like I do with ads, I'm not just one before, then I would start with 2 and I would test it. I would take, of course, the best one, and then I would run it for quite a while until it doesn't perform anymore, right? Is
Correct.
That the summary? Okay.
Yes.
And then I could think of number 6 and 12 and whatever.
Yes, then you can start doing 6 ads and monitor those. And I would say a big piece either way, regardless of which one you start with, is to look at it every day.
Okay.
And by the way, that could just be like 2 minutes. where you log into Facebook, you say, it's still at $2, good, and you're done. And you do it again tomorrow.
Yeah. It's same. Okay. If not, I cancel it.
Right.
Okay. Because I think, of course, you are the expert and you are doing it just like that, right? But I'm doing that on the sideline. It's not my job doing that. And it will cost me much more time and effort to put all these ads together and to watch them and observe what's going on. So that might be overwhelming for me, definitely, and maybe for some listeners also. That's why it totally agree that completely can see the sense and the benefit of it, but it's still for somebody starting out or not being in this special topic too much might be overwhelming. So we have the best advice and strategy for somebody who is already sort of into that thing, and we have the low but still perfect strategy for somebody like me and everybody out there who's just starting, because doing something is important and essential. But what's clear is you don't need to run ads and then you don't watch them. That's money thrown out of the window, right?
Yes, a lot of people wish it was that way. They would like to be able to make it once and then they set it and forget it. But I would not do that. I would set it and I would watch it.
Yeah. Okay. I actually got some of that special advice here because I was with Frank Kern.
Oh.
And he's a genius on that. But he's so genius that I, with my little... I'm interested, of course, as I need it for my company, but still I have other fields to cope with, and it's still not advertising. Is a must do for me, but it's not my topic, right?
Right.
It's just a side part I have to do. So I don't want to get expert like you because I still have my freestyle and podcast and becoming authentic topic here. So, I will do it. I will watch out to be good at it, but I will not do my mastery in Facebook ads because it's your topic and not mine. But and so he's fantastic, but he's a special sort of video sales letter I love from him. It's such a tactic behind there. But at one point, it was so many perfectionism inside. You could easily understood it, but for me, it was like I hardly couldn't follow anymore, right?
Right.
Because it was too perfect.
Well, in many ways, it's like learning a language. It is. Really, it is. If I was brought to, bring me to Rome, I don't know if I'd really have to battle to learn and understand and respond also and communicate. It's a whole other world onto itself.
Yes. So sometimes less is more, and that's a impression I really point out on my podcast. But in this content, we just summarize why less could be more, and in the other part, most of the coaches, they say you need to do this and this and this and this, right? And there are so many social media experts out there, but they tell you 10 things to do, right? And a snapshot and this and this and that. And if you're starting out, it's just overwhelming. That's why I said, I have you on the pod, and you will tell us, me and my listeners here, on what we should focus, because it's still not. I'm not an advertiser. I'm doing this because I have to promote my company, but that will be it. I will not be a master of Facebook ads. It's just not my job, right?
Right.
And so giving myself too much into it and that might all be grateful and wonderful and exciting tips, right? But it's too much. So I want to, what I wrote down to pages here, that I can handle, I can follow, I can understand, and I can remember. But if you're giving me 10 tips and 5 strategies and 12 campaigns, and after we are done with this interview, I say, okay, it was lovely to speak to him, but I cannot remember anything. Right?
No.
If it's too much and too overwhelming, people don't do it.
I completely agree. If you don't want to do nothing, you want to walk out of an interview or a seminar or read an article and do like 1 or 3 things that all right, I know how to do this. It's pretty easy to do, and I'm going to go do it.
Yeah.
So, and you know what? I'll tell you, relative to that, I'm going to practice what I preach here. To anybody listening or coming out of this interview, I would say 3 things you could do are start sending a weekly email, like we discussed.
Yes.
Use the 60-second story strategy, which is just clicking on that little paper plane and sending one of your posts to your story. It takes 3 clicks. So It should, less than a minute usually.
Okay.
And the last piece is, and I'm deciding between running a Facebook ad, saying to run a Facebook ad campaign, or I would say, how about this? Let's do the Facebook ad campaign, 2 audiences and 2 ads. Forget the 6 ads right now for anybody just starting, and just do the 2. Start with that.
Okay. 2 ads.
Yes. So you can see which one is doing better, at least.
Okay. That was wonderful advice, Michael. Thank you. And thank you for summarizing it. Normally, this is my question at the end. So I can recap, and also the listeners, which might be on the run, they can read it in the show notes after. But to summarize what was the 1 hour talk about, makes it much easier. That's why I always ask for that, or I will do it, because then you can remember what was the important points, right?
Yes.
So thanks for just doing this by your own and not even me asking for it.
Hey.
Wonderful. Well, I just love you. You know that anyway, but I just love you.
Well, thank you very much. I can tell you, I can see why you have a great podcast.
Yeah. And you're very young at age, right?
Yes, in the immediate present, by some people's standards. Yes, 22 years of age.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, I know it, but I just wanted to point it out for our listeners. And you're 1 year older than my older son, Rico, which is who? I say who, not which. Huh? Who is in Canada? Who?
Yes.
Sometimes I have struggle with the preposition there. Who is in Canada, and and you're the complete businessman, right?
Well, happy
like
to
you show up. It's not like a grown-up teenager, but it's wow. I was flashed in Tampa, and I still am. I'm adopting you right from the spot.
Well, thank you for your kind words, and I can tell you regarding your children, if they grow up to be like you, then they'll be very successful.
Yeah, Yeah, well, Rico is enjoying his life in Whistler in Canada. He loves skiing, so after work he's gone on the snowboarding, whatever. And Sandro just finished his high school here. Oh. He wants to go to Italy. We will see what's going on, but yeah, it's incredible how you perform as businessman. Also, it's just amazing.
Oh, well, thank you. I give all the credit to my family for support. Yeah.
Anyway, we can mention it here. So Michael has his brother Mark also there. He's a podcast colleague, and you're working together also. And I'm very much related to your mom, and she's just wonderful. And I will have her on the pod, and your brother will be here, I think, in 2 weeks' time. So we, because I'm the next, everything is taken until September. So I'm booked out until September with episodes, which are in, and that was the sort of a flash coming over me. But it's a luxury problem, so I will not complain. But it's great, and I love it. I just love to talk to people who know their stuff and who are inspired also. And I can be authentic here, and you are authentic yourself, and it's just amazing fun. That's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And it shows in your podcast. There's a lot of good energy, especially even in your setup. I like your setup a lot. Even with that back image in the background of the tree, everything looks and sounds great.
What back up? What did you say?
Your whole vibe and energy from the podcast is really good. Everything from how you sound to the image in the background that you have set up there with the beach and the ocean looks really good.
Yes. Unfortunately, I have no ocean and no beach here. That's why I need it on the picture. I'm so water addicted. I'm in the wrong place here. But anyway, I will change shortly. So I will not. My kids are grown up, so I don't need to stick to this place no more.
Okay.
So we'll see. I need to go nearby the ocean. And in the warm weather. It's still cold here. So, I love the sun. I need to see the sun. Cool. So, thanks so much, Michael. It was such a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for the great advices. Thankfully, I wrote everything down because I couldn't have remembered everything, like the tips and which direction and what to go. So I will put everything in the show notes, and I will be actionable on that myself first. So that's wonderful advice. Thank you so much.
Hey, well, thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
It was just great.
Fly Nation, thanks for listening in today. This was Michael Guberti, inspiring us how we can leverage our visibility on social media by following his shortcuts for a better social media performance. You can find all tips and recaps in the show notes. Feel free to share the Fly podcast with your friends or other people who might also profit from the tips revealed. Talk to you on Tuesday with Eve on the topic of branding.